Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after what she did to me growing up? I, 26F, recently got into a huge argument with my family, and now I'm being called petty, dramatic, and selfish. But honestly, I feel like I'm the only one remembering what actually happened. For context, my older sister, 31F, and I have never had a good relationship. Growing up, she constantly bullied me. I'm not talking about normal sibling teasing. I mean, she would humiliate me in front of her friends, spread rumors about me at school, and even once accidentally deleted an important school project I spent weeks on. Whenever I tried to tell my parents, they'd brush it off as siblings being siblings. Things got worse in high school. She told people I had a crush on a teacher, completely untrue, and it spread enough that I got pulled into the guidance office. It was one of the most humiliating experiences of my life. She never apologized, she actually laughed about it years later. When she moved out, things got better simply because I didn't have to deal with her daily. We became more like distant acquaintances. We'd be civil at family events, but we were never close. Fast forward to now, she's getting married in 2 months. Out of nowhere, she asked me to be one of her bridesmaids. I was honestly shocked. I asked her why, and she said something along the lines of, "We're sisters, and I want things to look good in the photos." That didn't sit right with me, but I said I'd think about it. A few days later, I met up with her to talk, and I brought up our past. I told her that I'm still hurt and that I don't feel comfortable pretending we have a close relationship for the sake of appearances. I said that if she genuinely wanted to rebuild things, I'd be open, but I needed a real apology first. She got defensive immediately. She said I was holding on to childhood stuff and that I was trying to ruin her big moment. She also said she doesn't even remember half the things I brought up. That really hurt. It felt like she was invalidating everything I went through. So I told her I wouldn't be a bridesmaid. In fact, I said I probably wouldn't attend the wedding at all if this is how she sees things. Now my parents are furious. They're saying I'm tearing the family apart over old drama, and that I should just go and be supportive. My mom even said, "This isn't about you." Some relatives have been messaging me saying I'll regret missing my sister's wedding and that I'm being immature. But here's the thing, I've spent my entire life being told to just get over it, while she never had to take responsibility for anything she did. I don't feel like I'm asking for much, just acknowledgement and a genuine apology. So, am I the asshole for refusing to go to my sister's wedding?
Update 1. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after what she did to me growing up? Hi everyone, I didn't expect my original post to get so much attention, but I read a lot of your comments and messages. A lot of you told me to stand my ground, and some suggested I talk to my sister one more time before making a final decision. Well, a lot has happened since then. About a week after my post, my sister reached out to me. She said she wanted to clear the air and invited me over. I was honestly surprised, but I agreed because part of me still hoped maybe she was ready to take accountability. When I got there, she was weirdly nice. Like overly nice. She offered me food, kept asking about my life, and then eventually said, "I've been thinking about what you said." For a moment, I thought this was it, the apology I'd been waiting for. Instead, she said, "I'm sorry you feel that way about your childhood." That was it. I told her that wasn't an apology, and things got tense again. She started saying I was trying to rewrite history, and that I was jealous of her. At that point, I decided I was done and got up to leave. Here's where things take a turn. As I was putting my shoes on, her fiancé who had been in the other room the whole time came out and asked what was going on. My sister immediately switched tones and said, "She's upset about stuff I did when we were kids." He looked confused and asked, "Like what?" I hesitated, but then I just told him. About the rumors, the bullying, the teacher thing, everything. And he went completely silent. Then he said something that none of us were expecting. "She told me you were the one who used to bully her." Apparently, for their entire relationship, she had been telling him, and his family, that I was the mean younger sister, who made her life miserable growing up. She even used that as part of why she struggles with trust. I was honestly stunned. I didn't even know what to say. He started asking her questions, and she kept dodging or downplaying things. At one point, he asked directly, "Did you lie to me?" And she just said, "It wasn't like that." I ended up leaving because it was turning into a full-blown argument between them. Fast forward to now, the wedding has been postponed. My parents are in damage control mode, telling everyone it's due to stress, but my cousin told me my sister's fiancé moved out temporarily. I haven't heard directly from him, but I can't stop thinking about what happened. Now my family is even more upset with me. They're saying I should have kept things private and that I embarrassed my sister and potentially ruined her relationship. But I didn't even plan that. I just told the truth when I was asked. Part of me feels guilty because things escalated so much, but another part of me feels like this was bound to happen eventually. So now I'm back again, asking. Was I wrong for telling the truth, even if it blew up her wedding? Final update. Am I the asshole for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after what she did to me growing up? I honestly didn't think I'd be posting again, but things have escalated in a way I never could have predicted. Short version. There is no wedding anymore. Long version, buckle up. A few days after my last update, my sister's fiancé reached out to me directly. I was nervous to respond, but I agreed to meet him in a public place because I felt like I at least owed him honesty after everything that happened. He basically told me that after I left that day, he and my sister got into a massive argument. He said this wasn't the first time he'd caught her in a lie, just the biggest one. Apparently, she had a habit of adjusting stories to make herself look better, but he never imagined it extended to something like her entire childhood. Then he dropped something on me that made my stomach sink. He said, "There's something else you should know, and I think you're the only one who can confirm it." According to him, my sister had recently told him that I was emotionally unstable, and that if I ever caused a scene at the wedding, it would be because I was off my meds. For the record, I am not on any medication, and I never have been. Her plan, his words, not mine, was to manage me during the wedding by warning people ahead of time not to take anything I said seriously. I felt sick hearing that. It wasn't just about the past anymore, she was actively trying to discredit me in the present. At that point, I told him everything. Not just the big incidents I mentioned before, but years of smaller things I had brushed off, times she lied to get me in trouble, turned friends against me, or twisted situations so she always came out as the victim. He just sat there, quietly, and at the end said, "This is a pattern." 2 days later, he called off the wedding. And that's when everything exploded. My sister showed up at my apartment unannounced, pounding on my door. When I opened it, which I regret, she immediately started screaming at me, like full, shaking, furious screaming. She said I ruined her life, that I was obsessed with being the victim, and that I finally got what I wanted. I told her to leave, but she wouldn't, and it got to the point where my neighbor came out to check what was happening. And then, she said something I don't think I'll ever forget. She yelled, "You were supposed to just take it like you always do." That was the moment everything kind of clicked for me. This wasn't just random behavior or kids being kids. She genuinely expected me to stay quiet forever so she could keep controlling the narrative. After that, I told her if she didn't leave, I'd call the police. She finally stormed off, but not before telling me that our parents are done with me. And she wasn't exaggerating. My parents have barely spoken to me since. When they do, it's to tell me I should apologize to my sister for going too far and airing private matters. They're still insisting I could have handled things differently and that I didn't have to destroy everything. Some extended family members are split. Some quietly told me they believe me, others think I'm exaggerating. As for the fiancé, he sent me one last message thanking me for being honest. He said it hurt, but it probably saved him from a much worse situation later. So where things stand now. The wedding is officially cancelled. My sister isn't speaking to me, not that I expect her to. My relationship with my parents is hanging by a thread. And I'm left dealing with the fallout of finally telling the truth. I won't lie, this has been overwhelming. But for the first time in my life, I also feel weirdly at peace. Like I'm not carrying something that was never mine to carry in the first place. I know a lot of people will still think I should have kept quiet. Maybe things would be easier if I had. But I also think this would have just kept going. New lies, new versions of reality, new ways of making me the problem. So, I guess this is the final update. Was it worth it? I honestly don't know. But at least it's finally out in the open.